progress cuts to deep in the heart of the American wilderness, from the dense pine forests of Oregon to the towering redwoods of California. A silent war has been waged for decades. It's not a war fought with guns or flags, but with chainsaws, bulldozers, and an insatiable hunger for timber. At first glance, logging might appear to be just another industry, providing wood for homes, furniture, and paper. But underneath the surface lies a far more complicated truth, one that questions the cost of progress, the ethics of human dominance over nature, and the legacy we're leaving behind. America was built on wood, quite literally. Our pioneers carved homes out of logs, laid down railroad tracks through forests, and expanded westward in a symphony of saws and ambition. Logging played a pivotal role in the nation's development, and even today, the industry continues to support hundreds of thousands of jobs and billions in revenue. That's undeniable. But the real question we have to ask is, at what cost? Let's get one thing straight: not all logging is bad. Responsible forestry, done with replanting and sustainability in mind, is necessary and can even be beneficial. But what we've seen, especially in the last century, is not always responsible. It's aggressive, it's excessive, and oftentimes, it's downright reckless. Take the clear-cutting method, for example. In theory, it's efficient. In practice, it's devastating. Vast swaths of forest are flattened in days, leaving behind barren landscapes that resemble war zones. More than ecosystems, the soil erodes, the wildlife disappears, streams clog with sediment, and in the age of climate change, this kind of environmental destruction is not just irresponsible, it's dangerous. Trees are more than just future planks of hardwood flooring. They're carbon sinks, pulling CO out of the atmosphere and storing it for decades, even centuries. When we cut them down, especially mature, old-growth forests, we're not just losing beauty and biodiversity, we're accelerating the climate crisis. Some might argue, but we replant trees after. Logging, yes, sometimes, but planting a few rows of saplings doesn't replace what's lost. Old-growth forests take centuries to develop. They're complex, layered, and support thousands of species that young forests simply can't. Logging companies love to use the word renewable, but forests aren't like crops. They don't bounce back in a season. Let's not forget the cultural and spiritual importance of forests either. For indigenous communities across the U.S., forests are sacred. They're not just resources, they're relatives. Places of ceremony, of memory, of connection. When corporations tear down these ancient trees without consent or consultation, it's not just environmental destruction, it's cultural erasure. And then there's the issue of ownership and control. Large timber corporations often lease public lands for next to nothing, profiting off resources that technically belong to all Americans. It's a classic case of privatizing the profits and socializing the losses. The forests get chopped. The communities suffer. The executives cash in now. To be fair, logging isn't the sole villain in the environmental story. Urban sprawl, wildfires, and agriculture also take massive bites out of America's green spaces. But unlike natural disasters or the slow creep of suburbs, logging is immediate, mechanical, and visually jarring. It's hard to ignore a hillside that was lush yesterday and leveled today, but here's the part that hurts the most. We don't need to be doing this anymore. Technological innovation has given us alternatives. We can build with recycled wood, engineered materials, even hemp-based products. Demand for paper has dropped dramatically in the digital age, and sustainable forestry models have proven successful in countries like Finland and Canada. So why is the U.S. still stuck in outdated, exploitative logging practices? It's a question of will, not ability. If we're serious about combating climate change, protecting biodiversity, and preserving our natural heritage, we need to drastically reform how we approach logging in America. That means ending on public lands. It means investing in forest restoration, not just extraction. It means giving more power to indigenous voices who have stewarded these lands long before corporations existed. And yes, it means asking consumers, all of us, to be more mindful about where our wood products come from. Buying local, certified, sustainable wood might cost a little more, but it sends a message. Every dollar we spend is a vote for the kind of future we want. Some will say this is unrealistic, that the economy will suffer, that we can't just change an entire industry overnight. But let's remember, industries adapt all the time. Coal is fading, oil is being challenged. The future belongs to those who innovate, not those who cling to outdated, destructive practices. Forests are not infinite, and once they're gone for lifetimes. We owe it to our children and their children to think long-term, to see trees not as lumber, but as life. To value our forests not just for what we can take from them, but for what they give us simply by existing: air, water, shade, beauty, balance. It's time we stopped measuring the health of our economy by how many trees we can cut down, and started measuring it by how many we can protect. Because in the end, the true wealth of a nation isn't just found in its banks or buildings, it's found in its rivers, its mountains, and yes, its forests.